Good morning, kindergarten, and happy Tuesday. I hope you guys had a lot of fun getting all cozy in your pajamas yesterday for our first day of Spirit Week. Today is Talent Tuesday. So I'm going to be posting a video of my talent on Class Dojo, and I would love to see a picture or a video of one of your talents that you'd like to share with us. So let's go ahead and get started with our calendar today while we think about the talents we might want to share. Yesterday was the 6th day of April, which means today is the 7th day of April. Yesterday was our 143rd day of school, so today is our 144th day of school. What day of the week was it yesterday? Yesterday was Monday. And if yesterday was Monday, today is Tuesday. And if today is Tuesday, tomorrow will be Wednesday. Awesome job. All right, and don't forget our sight words for this week, not and or. So see if you can come up with some sentences using the words not and or. All right, let's look at our morning message. Good morning, Kinder Crew. Today is Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. Do these words rhyme? All right, let's put on our thinking caps and let's decide if these are rhyming words. All right, let's look at our first two words. The first word we have here is egg, and the second word is chocolate. Now remember, with rhyming words, they have to have the same ending sound. So let's listen to these words again. Egg and chocolate. Rhyming words or not rhyming words? Those are not rhyming words. Egg and chocolate do not rhyme. All right, let's look at our next two words. We have bunny and funny. Bunny, funny. Do those words rhyme? Yes, they do. All right, our next set of words, spring and rain. Spring, rain. Nope, those are not rhyming words. All right, let's look at our next group. Chick and stick. Chick, stick. Are those rhyming words? Yes. All right. And our last set of words we have hunt and grunt. Hunt, grunt. Are those rhyming words? Yes, they are. Awesome. Love Mrs. Jones and Mrs. Whalen. So remember, kindergarten, today is our last day of lessons. Tomorrow you can use the day to catch up, and we will also have a Zoom call at 11 before we go off on our spring break so that we can say Happy Easter to each other, and we're going to do a special activity for our Spirit Day tomorrow. Tomorrow is Workout Wednesday, so we're going to do a little working out together. So no lessons tomorrow, but we will have a Zoom call at 11, so hopefully you can join us, and let's get started on our lessons for today. For your math review page today, we're going to be looking at 13-4, and let's go ahead and look at number 1. For number 1, you are going to fill in the bubble next to the picture that shows objects that are the same shape and same color. So which picture shows shapes that are not only the same shape, but also the same color? For number 2, you are going to fill in the bubble next to the picture that shows the objects that are the same color and the same kind. So they're the same color and they're also the same picture. And for number 3, you are going to draw 2 balls that are different from each other. So think about the ways that they could be different. And you're going to draw 2 balls that are different from each other. Mathematicians, today you're going to continue sorting items by more than one attribute. So you're going to be looking at a group of objects and you're going to be sorting them in more than one way. So I'm going to take a look at the group that I have here. So I have a group of shapes and I want to sort them in more than one way. So I'm going to look at my group and see if I see any items that have something in common, that I can sort them together based on that attribute. So I'm going to take a look here and see if I see any shapes that have something in common that can help me to sort them. So I'm going to look here. This is the first way that I've chosen to sort my shapes. So I've put together a group of shapes from my original group. I've sorted them into this group. Now, how did I choose to sort these shapes? What did I use? What attribute do all of these have in common? They're all the same shape, and they're actually all the same size also, but I chose to sort them by the same shape. They're all squares. They're all small squares. So that's how I chose the first way to sort this group. So I'm going to put these shapes back. So the first way I sorted them was by shape. Now I'm going to look here and see if I see any other way that I could sort. Now I've made another group. How did I sort this group? I sorted this group by color. So you can sort them by shape, you can sort them by size, by pattern, by color. So you just want to find different objects that have something in common. So you want to find objects that have something that are the same, and then you can sort them. So this time I decided to sort them by color. If I were going to sort them by color again, I could look here, and I also have these shapes that could go in a group together. Those could be sorted by color. The other thing that you're going to be doing today is you're going to be looking at a group of items, and you're going to be choosing the one that does not belong. So if I have a group of shapes here, looking at these shapes, I can figure out how these shapes should be sorted or which ones have something in common, which can help me figure out which shape does not belong. So looking here at this row, which shape does not belong? The green triangle. The green triangle does not belong in this group because it does not match the other shapes. The rest of them are all squares. So I'm going to take off the green triangle because it does not belong in this group. So that's what you're going to be doing in math today. You're going to be sorting groups by different attributes, so size, color, shape, pattern. And the other thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at a group and deciding which object or picture does not belong. Writers. Yesterday we talked about different features that you can find in nonfiction books on the pictures. And we were looking at a nonfiction book that had actual pictures and not drawings on it. And today what we're going to be looking at is a nonfiction book that has drawings instead of pictures. And we're going to be talking about what we see in these drawings that can help us with our drawings in our own nonfiction books. And again, this book is about bats. So we're going to take a look at this nonfiction book that has drawings in it to see how it can help us. This book is called Bat Facts. Bats have wings and fur. That is a fact. And again, you'll notice they have labels on this picture. Bats live in caves. That is a fact. Bats sleep upside down. That is a fact. Bats look for food at night. That is a fact. Bats eat bugs. That is a fact. Bats clean themselves like cats. That is a fact. Bats are amazing. That is a fact. Writers, what were some of the things that you noticed about the pictures in the Bat Facts book? Maybe you noticed that the pictures had body parts of the bat, that there were different parts, that it showed different things that the bats do, maybe that there were backgrounds in the pictures. So there were a lot of things that the illustrators in that Bat Facts book did to help the reader in their understanding of bats. So what I want to show you right now is how you can do that in your own nonfiction books, to really make sure that your pictures show the reader what your nonfiction book is about and that they have lots of detail in them. So I'm going to pretend that I'm writing a new story about dogs, and I'm going to go ahead and draw my picture about dogs. All right, so here is my picture of a dog. Am I missing anything? Do you think there's anything else I could add to this picture? I could add the dog's body. Okay. Now my picture definitely has more detail. What else could I add? I could add his tail. What else could I add? Maybe his legs at the back. What else could I add? I could add a collar. What other ideas? Oh, I could add a leash to go with the collar. What else do you think? What other details did you see in the nonfiction book that we read that I'm missing? We talked about a background, so I could add maybe his doghouse. Anything else? I could add his dog bowl. Anything else you think? I think we're good. Look at that detail that I was able to add to that picture. When I started, all I had was the dog's face. But then as I kept thinking, I realized there were a lot more details that I could add to this picture. I added the body, the different body parts, leash, collar, the doghouse, his dog bowl. So I just kept thinking of more details that I could add to my picture to really give my reader a full picture in their minds of what my nonfiction topic is about. So writers, what I want you to do today is I want you to look back at just one of your pictures that you've drawn so far in your nonfiction book. And I want you to think, is there any more detail you can add to that picture like I did? So if you just have a picture of a dinosaur, maybe you could add what the dinosaur eats, or you could add the background, maybe where the dinosaur lives. If you did yours on football, maybe instead of just drawing a picture of a football, you could do a football field, or you could do a player throwing the football. So think about the detail that you could add to your pictures, just like I did in mine today. Readers, Today we're going to be looking at the two books that we've read so far in this unit, Tiny Goes Back to School and A New Friend. And we're going to be comparing and contrasting these two books to figure out what they have in common and what is different about them. So I have a graphic organizer that I'm going to fill out, and we've done one before when we were looking at the Mo Willems books in writing, when we were talking about opinions in our opinion writing unit. So I know that you guys have already learned how to compare and contrast different books. So now we're gonna go ahead and do that again with these two books. So I'm gonna look at these books, I'm going to think back to the characters, the setting, the problem and solution. I'm going to write down that information so that I can then look at these books and compare and contrast them. So readers, I'm going to use this graphic organizer to fill out the information of both of my books so that I can then compare and contrast them. So I'm going to start with the title. The title of the first book we read was A New Friend. And remember, because I'm writing the title, the words are all capitalized unless it's a small word. So for example, in our second title, it's Tiny Goes Back to, and to is not capitalized, School. So we have A New Friend and Tiny Goes Back to School. So let's start with A New Friend. The characters were dog, cat, and dog's dad or mom, whichever one you decide. And the setting for this story was the neighborhood, and dog's house, again, the problem was that dog's dad didn't think dogs and cats could be friends. And the solution was dog told his dad he liked cat and they stayed friends. All right, let's look at our other book, Tiny Goes Back to School. The characters were Tiny, his owner, there was the teacher, and the other dogs. The setting was Tiny's house and the dog school. The problem was Tiny wasn't following commands. And the solution was he learned the commands and taught other dogs at school. Awesome. All right, so now we can discuss the similarities and the differences in our books. So the things that are similar, looking at the characters, Both of the characters are dogs. So Tiny is a dog. There were other dogs in the story. And similarly, in A New Friend, there's dog and then also dog's dad or mom. So they have similar characters. Let's see, is there anything else that we notice that these books have in common? Anything we notice they have in common? Well, both of the main characters make friends. So Dog is friends with Cat, and in Tiny Goes Back to School, Tiny makes friends with the other dogs at his school. So those are the things that these books have in common. What things are different? What are some things that are different? Well, the things that are different are the setting. So something actually that's similar is both of them take place at the dog's house at one point, but the other setting in this story is that they go to the dog school, and this setting in A New Friend is the neighborhood. So those settings are different from each other. The other things that are different are the problems. They both have different problems and different solutions. And they also have some different characters. So even though there's dogs in both of these stories, this story has Cat, and this story has other dogs, the owner, as well as the teacher. So we can now look at these stories side by side, and we can compare, look at the things that are similar or alike, and we can contrast. Look at the things that are different about our stories. So readers, what you're going to do today is you're going to choose 2 fiction stories, and they can be in the same category. So for example, you could choose 2 Mo Willems books, 2 Berenstain Bears books, or you could choose ones that are different, just like I have different books, as long as they're fiction books. And then once you fill out this information, you can have a conversation talking about what is similar and what is different about these books.